In this video, we'll read a particular line from a file. What we mean by that is I've got a file and I say I want to read line number 3, so I only want that line to be displayed. Now, in this video, we'll use the same program that we wrote in video C19, read from a text file into structs as a starting point. So please refer to that video for details on some of the existing code. However, I'm just going to go really quick to give a summary of what we've done in the past video. The first thing that we've done was we included a header file for the standard input and output library for functions like fopen, printf, scanf, and close. The next thing that we've done was we defined a structure for a person with 3 fields. That's first name, last name, and age. And the keyword type def allows us to use person as an alias for struct underscore person for easier usage. Then we have a function to display information about a person. It takes a person structure as an argument. We then use format specifiers for strings, so %s for string, another string, and %d for integers. What this line does is it prints the person's first name, last name, and age in the format of first name, last name, a comma, and then age. In the main method or function, what we've done is we've opened the file people.txt in read mode. Now this file sits in the same location as this project. So that's people.txt, and it's got this particular information. Now, if the file cannot be opened, like for example, it doesn't exist or there are permission issues, then fopen returns null. So that pointer would be pointing to null if there was a problem. That's what we do in step 2. We check for errors. If a file is equal to null, then an error message is printed saying error opening file, and the program exits with return 1. Next, we want to ask the user for a line number. So I broke this step into 3 steps, so we can do it one step at a time. And the first thing what we want to do is declare an integer variable called target line to store the user's input. So that's basically an integer. Next, we prompt the user to enter the line number they would like to read from the file. I'm going to copy this message and then I'll customize it. So print f in double quotation and just end it. Let's just go through what we've copied and reuse. Enter the line number to read from the file. Next, we'll use the scanf function to capture the input and store it in target line. So here we'll specify that the entry is going to be an integer, and we'll store that into target line. Now here, what we're doing is we're giving scanf the address of target line so it knows where to place the value entered by the user. Okay, so that's it for step 3. Let's just compile, make sure we haven't got any major errors, and let's run it, although there's not much in there. It's asking for a line number, so I'm just going to say 3. It works as expected up to this point. Next, let's move to step 4, where we create variables to keep track of file reading. The first thing that we want to do is we want to declare a variable of type person. I'll just say person P to hold the data read from the file. So that's defined as our structure name. Next, we declare a variable to track the current line being read from the file, and we start at 1 for first line. So that's current line is equal to 1. Then we declare a flag. It's an integer to indicate if the target line was found. So we'll call it found, and initially set it to 0 for false, means it's not found yet. This takes us to step 5, where we read each line from the file. The first thing we do is we read 3 values, a string, another string, and an integer from the file, and store them in P first name, P last name, and age, basically into our structure. And the loop continues. So here we're using, let's say, a while loop. That's what works best. and fscan F to read the data from the file. Okay, as we said, it's going to be a string, another string, and an integer, as we've specified here. And then that's going to be read into our first name and p dot last name. It's not showing up for me, but okay. And because we're working with an integer, we would need the memory address or indicate that it's going to be scanned into the address of age, so it knows where to place the value entered by the user. And then what we say, the loop continues as long as it successfully reads all three values. So all that equals to 3 because each line has 3 values. Okay. If current line matches the target line entered by the user, so if current line, where is our current line, is equal to the target line, where's target line? That's target line. Then in that case, we set found to 1, indicating the line was found, and then we break out of the loop since the desired line is found. So we break because there's no point in continuing to search. All right, so that's for 5b. In 5c, if the current line is not the target, then increment current line to move to the next line. So basically current line plus plus, and then we close off our loop. I'm just gonna compile just to make sure that I haven't made any significant errors. And let's run it, although the work is not finished yet, but let's just say 3. All right, let's keep going. So next we want to close the file, which is fclose, and we'll pass the file. And then we want to check if the target line was found. So what to do if we've actually found the results. So if found, basically, if found is equal to 1, if true, then print a message indicating the data on the requested line. And then we call display person to display the details of the person. So printf data on line %d, and then a new line, target line. Seems like and then we will call display person to display the details. So we're basically calling this function that we've got at the beginning and passing in a structure as an argument. At this point, we can run our program, just make sure that we haven't got any errors, because the larger the program grows, and without compiling, it'll be harder to fix errors. So 3, and at this point, the program works nicely, so it's printing out the details on line 3. But what happens if we print out, if we actually, if the user enters a line that doesn't exist? We want to let them know that, there was a problem. So here we'll say, so we want to print a message saying that the requested line does not exist or doesn't contain valid data. So here we'll say line does not exist or does not contain. I think I'm happy with that message. I'll just keep it. And then we want to end the program with a return value of 0, indicating successful completion or execution. So return 0, basically. This really completes our program. Let's just make sure that it compiles correctly with no errors and that it runs as expected. So if I say line 1, it returns line 1 for me. But now let's try and give it a value, a line that doesn't exist, like 6. So we've only got 5 lines, so we're nothing at line 6. So here it says line 6 does not exist or doesn't contain valid data. However, when we give it a valid line number, like say line 2, that prints us data on line 2, test 2, and so on. So I've just given this sample data. So it also helps me know that even if I don't say it's line 2, I know that it's line 2. However, with real data, you would like to know the line number, and because you'll have real data. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.